Welcome back. Dustin here at the Institute for Advanced Learning and Research. As you all know, for the last few weeks, we've been focusing on harvest squash and game day snacks. This one in particular I like a lot because it takes me back to my roots in Syracuse, New York. In central New York, Italian food is prevalent. So we're going to use spaghetti squash and we're going to roll it up in a pizza dough pinwheel and top it with marinara sauce. So the first step obviously is to obtain spaghetti squash. You're going to want to use a sharp knife. These are very hard. And basically what we're going to do is just cut it down the middle. As you can see, you need a sharp knife. Now inside, this is just like a lot of other squashes and gourds, it's full of seeds. So what we're gonna need to do is scoop out the guts and then place it on a cookie sheet. Very similar to a pumpkin, you wanna make sure that we're scooping out all the seeds, but you don't wanna scoop too much either. So once you have it all emptied out, we're gonna face it face down on a baking sheet. And we'll go ahead and do the other side here. Now a spaghetti squash of this size will yield probably a half a pound of product. So you can keep that in mind when you're purchasing and figuring out your needed quantity. We're gonna, like I said, face these down and we're gonna spray them very hard with oil or pan spray or even butter. After we heavily spray them, I recommend cooking these at 350 degrees for around 45 minutes or until the outside skin is nice and tender. And here you can see our finished spaghetti squash product. The outside is soft, the skin is brown. Now what we're gonna do now is flip it over and we're gonna fork out all the inside, which is gonna be strands of squash, which is where it gets the name spaghetti squash. So I recommend using a fork, and it's just as simple as scraping it out. I would recommend pulling it out and reserving it to a bowl on the side, as we will need this workspace to spread our pizza dough. Okay, so here I have standard pizza dough ball. This is a large size, it's about 16 ounces. And we're gonna stretch it out, make sure it's fully proofed. And basically, unlike a pizza, we're gonna go more of a rectangle shape for this. And something about this size will be fine. This would be enough to feed a family of 5. And once you have it all spread out, it doesn't have to be perfect. It can be very artisan-like, if you will. You're gonna spread squash throughout the pizza dough. We want to evenly distribute the spaghetti squash throughout the dough. Once you have done this, I recommend using provolone cheese because it goes with Italian dishes very well, but you're free to use whatever cheese you like. You can be generous as well. I like to cover the whole thing. And this will look kind of like a flatbread pizza before we roll it up. And once you've completed this step, it's very important that you keep this tight, but we're going to start rolling it over and make sure the middle is tight. Now this is our product. We're going to want to cut the ends off because there's a very slim chance that you have any product in there. As you can see, that's mostly dough. So we'll go ahead and cut the ends off ahead of time. And then for a cut that will hold all your product inside, I recommend using something between 1 inch or 1.5 inches thick. So that's what we'll go with here. And you very simply are just cutting slices. You may have seen this done with sausage or pepperoni. This is a little more modern approach. And once we have these all cut, we're gonna take our baking sheet that we have pre-sprayed, and we're gonna delicately place these on the sheet. Know that the pizza dough will expand, so you want to keep them about 1.5 inches apart from each other. And as you can see, this one pizza ball has done us 10 of these pinwheels. It would be more than enough for a family of 4 to 5, as I already said. And now here's our second baking process of this meal. I would recommend doing these at 350 degrees for around 15 minutes, or until the top is brown and the cheese is melted. So here it is, our finished product. We have spaghetti squash and provolone pinwheels. Now the last thing that I do, now you're free to add tomato sauce into the pinwheel before you bake it, but I like to use it more as a dipping sauce or a topping. You can be pretty liberal with it. It is called spaghetti squash, right? And these make great game day snacks, or we even eat them as meals at our house. And there you have it. Oh, but I know what you're thinking. Dustin, didn't you cook 10? I did. I'll let you guess where the other 4 went. Thank you for joining us. Our next video segments will be including holiday dips and also some tips and tricks to help you save time and money during this busy holiday season. Thank you.